All right. Welcome out to this episode of Behind the Shades with Jason Adams. Today we have a special guest, the Vice President of Beck Sunglasses, which also happens to be my wife, Haley Adams.
Woo-hoo! Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome, Haley. Yay. Yeah, woohoo! That was really half-hearted.
Sorry, yeah.
And just so you guys know, the person over here that only put out just a mediocre amount of effort, that is Danica Strom. We're welcoming her today. Always love
mediocre Strom.
Yeah. just Danica.
Bare minimum Strom.
Danica Meat Hooker Strom.
Meat and cheese hooker. Don't forget the cheese.
Meat and cheese hooker.
That's correct.
So why do they call you the meat and cheese hooker?
By way of where I worked when you found me, boss. I moved to a little tiny town where you're based out of here in Logandale, Nevada, and there were two places to work, and I picked the grocery store
Strip club.
of that was the second choice. They didn't want me. So after I got fired from the strip club, I went to
See, that's the thing. She was going to try to act like she did at least work there for a day and a half.
I got fired, man. They didn't want it. I was shaking it. They just said, no, thank you.
You know what? Listen, how dare they?
No, nobody wants to see what's hidden under this.
Listen,
stop.
First of all, that's a lie. Second of all, you got to applaud a woman shaking it.
And I have on numerous occasions.
Great. So
but back to the meat and cheese hooker.
Yeah, the meat and cheese
Yeah,
hooker.
so I worked at a grocery store here in our local town, and I was hired in the meat department. And I started out.
Did you guys make tube steak?
No. Cube steak, not tube steak.
Okay.
Anyway, so my job initially was to hang the meat and the cheeses.
The only reason why I ask is Haley loves a nice tube steak.
Yes, I've
Continue,
heard.
Danica. Continue.
I would hang the cheeses and the meats on the hooks. And so my friends who were very surprised that that's the job that I was working started to call me the meat and cheese hooker. Then I got promoted to where you found me, and I was the assistant meat manager. And then I said, I saw my name on the schedule as the assistant meat manager, but they abbreviated assistant, so it said ass meat manager. So I went from being the meat and cheese hooker to the ass meat manager. Yeah. And that's when you found me and told me to come work for you.
That nomenclature suits you very well.
I thought so.
Yeah, me too. So, real quick, you talked about the meat and cheese hooker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What is your thoughts on, and Haley, we'll get to you in a minute. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this as well. But you guys heard that Dairy Pure filed for bankruptcy, the largest dairy company in the U.S.
Yep.
That's sad. It's really sad. It's like this Generation Z or M or 9, 12 or 9er,
whatever they
it
are.
is. Yeah,
I don't even know what I am.
Yeah. Anyways, they've got this vendetta against milk and dairy, and it's actually really sad. And like we've talked about before, just around the office, is if you have a health condition that where you're lactose intolerant or whatever the case may be, and you cannot ingest milk, understood, uncle, you get a pass. But for this generation that has no idea what the dairy farmers of America, which possibly, I mean, the milkmen are responsible for half the illegitimate children around the United States.
That's the myth. That's
if
what
not
I've heard.
more.
Yes, sir.
You can't just all of a sudden one day just throw something on social media. Oh, I don't like milk. I'm going to go for soy or almond. And all of a sudden, that's just not right.
Agreed.
I love me some fat-free milk.
See, I like the fat milk. Look at me. I like the good stuff.
What's that?
This is 2%.
2%.
2%? Yeah,
2%.
is what we buy.
Actually,
I buy 2% Dairy Pure. That's what I buy.
I like the whole organic milk with the lumps in it, but it freaks Haley out.
I mean, we go through at least 5 gallons of milk a week.
Look at me. I am a milk drinker. So if you are a dairy farmer, first of all, I love you and thank you. And if you're one of those millennials that don't have a health condition, that doesn't drink milk or for whatever reason is vocal against milk, screw you, you suck, and we don't like you.
Or give it a try.
We still like you. We still like you, but give it a try.
Haley still likes you.
I like you too. Give it a try, though.
Come
over to our side.
I don't like you. I don't like. I love
Maybe
you.
you just
I
need to
love
change
you.
the
I
fat
love
Friday.
you. I love you. I want to make this very. I love you. I just don't like you.
Difference there.
There is a difference there. Okay, so Haley, 10 years, Bex, sunglasses, consumer product. As a business, it kind of sucks. Not Bex. Bex is a great business. We've had a great time for 10 years. You know, had the opportunity to work with awesome people like Danica and build this company, but just consumer product as an industry kind of sucks. It's just not the greatest business to be in. We've learned some great things. Haley, talk a little bit about that experience. First of all, where did the name Bex come from?
I know. Your middle name, Jason Becksworth Adams.
It's Beckwith. Jason Beckwith Adams.
Jason Beckwith Adams. And I'm sorry if I've told you it was Becksworth, because I think that I've spent all of WISA and all of NFR saying Becksworth.
That's right. So Beckwith was his mom's maiden name, and that's his middle name.
Rest her soul.
I'm still going to say Becksworth.
What's that?
I'm still going to say Becksworth because I won't remember.
Well, you tend to say whatever you want anyways,
I do.
So that's okay. You get a pass on that. Yeah, my mom's maiden name, my grandpa Harry, he was kind of an old school pimp. Literally, rest his soul. He's not with us anymore. He was a good guy. I remember I worked on my first car with my grandpa Harry. He loved himself a nice Corvair. He had all the goods, man. A lot of the fabrication and just the maker tendencies that are in my blood come from are a credit to my grandpa Harry. I still remember the day he passed. We were living in a double wide trailer. My mom got the call. I was 10 years old, and it broke her heart. I still remember that. Miss you, Grandpa Harry. Love you. I could tell you stories for days. Actually, one of our future guests will tell you some pretty cool stories, but we'll save that for another time. Haley, now that we know where the name came from, let's talk a little bit about the last 10 years and your involvement with kind of a crazy, not only a crazy industry, but a brand, a global brand that competes with your big dogs, but obviously was I don't know, conceived from humble beginnings, you could say.
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. You have taken this long way, starting from just designing sunglasses in a back of a rodeo rig. I didn't design anything, but starting out from just scratches on paper in the back of the rodeo trailer or truck or wherever we were headed to, and from getting the first samples and first couple pairs of sunglasses to designing them to just the whole 9 yards. It's been pretty crazy.
It has. Yeah.
What was the first pair of sunglasses you made?
The very first pair of sunglasses was what was called the Ackerley. We don't make them anymore. And there's a funny story behind those. We drew them up. Back then, I didn't know anything about manufacturing. My father, God rest his soul, was a contractor. And he pretty much knew I was on the road to being a loser. I couldn't get a job as stick.
You too?
Yeah, definitely. No, totally. You know that.
Oh,
She's
me
playing
too,
alcohol.
totally. Yeah.
So one day I came in, I was like, hey, and it started back in high school. I wanted to be in consumer product from day one, but long story short, after the whole rodeo thing, Haley and I had been married. You know, we needed to do something, and you know, they say, find something you enjoy doing, you'll never have to work a day in your life. First of all, that isn't true. If you're doing it right, you're always working. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be stripping. I mean,
unless you're me, because I got fired.
But you enjoyed it. You were
for that 2 minutes, man. I loved it.
You were trying to make a go of it.
I did.
Maybe dancing. You guys prefer dancing, right?
Yes, we were dancers.
Yes. Gotcha. Okay, so now all I can envision is dancing.
Stop. Please stop.
So,
you were talking about the Ackerley.
in high school, I wanted, so anyways, long story short, we get married. I decide I want to give it a go. I was a professional rodeo cowboy and had enough time to study and be studious and practice. I loved to draw always. designed up these glasses. I'm like, hey, what if we did this? And then the next step was deciding where we were going to have them manufactured. Back then, it seemed like Italy was the place, right? You've got Luxottica, you have, Safilo, you've got all these giant brands that own Costa, Ray-Ban, Oakley. They're all Italy. They're all Italy. So I'm like, oh man, maybe Italy's the place to be. So we reached out. We didn't have very much money, and we got burned. I mean, we spent our whole life savings. It was like $3,500 at the time, and we ordered these samples. And I had my whole family in the kitchen. My dad was still alive, and I brought everybody. I'm like, guys, this is what's going to put me on the map. This is it. And I opened these 2 boxes, and these things were so bad. And I think we still have them. I mean, I put them on my face. I put them on my face, and they just folded. It was the most embarrassing time probably of my life. I did get depantsed outside the women's locker room when I was a junior in high school.
Nice.
Before football
I
practice.
pantsed Cole the other day in the warehouse.
Nice, Cole.
Belts.
You probably got nothing to be ashamed of. I did. So anyways, it was embarrassing. But, my mom, she's a sweetheart. And I was just teasing her there. She still is around, and she's amazing. My father, unfortunately, is not. Miss him every day. But she did the whole what good moms do. Son, I'm so proud of you. It looks amazing. Tried to kind of pick me up off the floor. I was bummed. My dad, he was kind of a realist. He loved me to death, but he was kind of like, yeah, they suck. Keep working at it. But it was what obviously we needed. And then I kind of got deflated a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And then we stayed at it, and here we are 10 years later. Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because this is my job. So I'm glad you stuck with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd still be the ass meat manager at Lynn's.
Or dancing.
What's up? Or dancing, right.
Yeah.
Yep, or dancing.
You don't even care that it's done to me what it's done mentally.
No, I don't. Not even 1 iota.
Just
because I get a job.
Right.
Yep. All in it for just me.
And you should be. And I applaud you for that. Golf clap. Anyways.
I want to know what those early days were like. So he draws them up. He has this. And you've got how many? So you had 1 daughter already.
We did. We had all of he draws them up. We get samples. We get some that we, can live with. Kind of the first starting line.
Still through Italy? Still going in Italy?
Nope.
No?
Went a different route. Found different manufacturers. He did.
China.
And we had just boxes of glasses in our daughter's just slide mirror closet. And we would we had them on the website, just get 1 order at a time. We'd pack, 2, 3 up a day, take them to the post office, all handwritten labels.
Oh, nice.
Just
getting going.
So there's a couple things. You talk about the early days. The early days of Beck's sunglasses, my grandpa Harry used to say the devil's in the details. And I'm OCD. I don't know if you knew that. I think you did.
Yeah, I think you told, yeah.
So diagnosed OCD, all right? So from the time I was a little boy, when I would lock into something I was in, right? And so when we decided it was going to be sunglasses, there was a couple things we did that I think set the foundation in the DNA of the brand from day one that a lot of people don't do. And again, this is the truth. This isn't me just
for a consumer
posturing.
Product, Mark, you're saying these 2 things you should do.
Several things. Well, yes, there's so here's what we did. From one, the details you see in the packaging and things like that today, they were there from day one. That was true. I've always been fanatical about that. I just felt like I even told my father, maybe we had $2,000 in the bank. And I said, I'm going to spend $1,800 of it on product, $200 on marketing. And his whole, my father's thing was like, well, how are you splitting that up and why? And I said, listen, because the product has to be there. And if not, if we go 50-50, we're marketing to people just a kind of a 50%, kind of a half marginal product. And so that was the one thing. And we were always custom from day one. So we've never rebranded anything. So today you see websites and things like that. You can go have a product made overseas and you could slap your logo on it and this and that. We never did that. We've always owned the tooling from the day one. And so even though it was more expensive up front, we set the tone on the DNA of the brand from day one. It made it more difficult in the early runnings, but I can honestly tell you that today I truly credit the fact that the brand is what it is because of that.
Because you owned it. Because you and Haley, what you built, you owned, and it gives you freedom.
And the key point is built, like the proprietary designs of that. You know, we could always, even from a selling point, we could always say, hey, these are the features. We know them well because we created them.
Right.
And when it comes to sunglasses, there's about a year and a half and at least $25,000 that goes into a product just to prototype it when you're doing it that way. So again, back then when you don't have anything, it was an awful big risk. On the business side of things, and Haley can correct me if I'm wrong, just because we've done it together and she's seen the whole. People always ask me, what does it take to start a successful business? Now, you see all these books behind me?
Yes, sir.
I've read 80% of those about business. I wasn't a very good scholar. I was kind of academically challenged, and so I've spent the better part of my adult life trying to make up for that. I feel like it's my penance for not doing a good job in school. But the one thing these books don't talk about, and one of my favorite books is called The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz, and he talks a little bit about it. But the one thing nobody talks about, you need to be a good leader. Yeah, you need to be studious. Yeah, you need to understand the business that you're going into. All of those things are true. But the one prerequisite to start a business that nobody talks about, Haley, what is it? I'm
not saying it, but it is true, and I agree with you.
You have to have big old balls. I mean, you do. I could say cojones, and I'm allowed to say that because I served my mission in Mexico.
I think anybody can say that. I can say it too.
That's it. I mean, that's the one thing that because... And
fearless. You got to be fearless. You got to put yourself out there because you're going to get smacked down. Yeah. I'm glad you did it.
About 80 different
10
times.
years ago.
Well, and here's the thing is everybody talks about passion. Oh, passion. Yeah, passion's important. You do have to have enough passion, but too much passion can get you in trouble. You fall in love with the product, you hang on to something too long than you should, but enough will get you through the hard times. Why are you laughing?
We shared a look, Haley and I.
About passion.
You got plenty of passion. Passion for all kinds of things that you love in your life.
I got passion for Haley.
Passions for days, yes. Haley is one of those things, yes.
Definitely. She's
lucky
smoking.
Girl.
She is smoking hot, I agree.
She's got it going on.
All right, so let's go back to, anything else.
This is about you guys. That's what people like.
Okay, so that's the number one prerequisite. Okay, the two things, the two cardinal sins in my opinion, since we're on this topic, don't take money. Don't take money up front. Don't go to the bank. Don't go to your family. Don't go to your friends. The natural thing that people want to do is go borrow money. Don't do that. Do it the grassroots, old-fashioned way, even though and you've heard it before, the capitalism, the way we know it, is dead. Mm-hmm. Free enterprise back then used to be able to work your way up and this and that. I still do believe that exists, mostly in the service industries. But don't take money, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to use that money to learn all of the hard mistakes through the School of Hard Knocks. I don't care how much of a degree you have or MBA or whatever. When you get down into the business and get down to the meat and potatoes of it, you're going to burn through cash making mistakes. That's going to happen. So once you do that, you're going to
create a pattern of borrowing and always digging yourself
By the time you get through that, you're going to say, oh, I figured it out. I know what to do now. Well, now you've already got these fixed costs. You've already got these expenses, this debt that you have to pay back, while at the same time you're trying to find more, because now you know what to do. That's one. Two, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody you're starting a business. Just do it. Don't tell anyone. That just makes you look foolish. If you decide to burn out, and there's a good chance you will. As a matter of fact, it's factual that 1% of businesses make it to 5 years, and 1% of 1% make it to 10. There's a reason for that. So the studies or the data has shown that you're not alone if it doesn't work out. So don't tell anybody. Those are my two things. You can't trust anyone. So if it's a good idea, they'll burn you. I don't care who it is. You can't trust anyone. I mean, Trump couldn't trust anybody, so he bombed Salami. I like to call him Salami. And the Democrats are like, oh, why? Why didn't you tell us? Well, because he would have just went and told him, right? Because you guys try to please everybody to fill your coffers. So that's his example of you can't trust anybody.
I have a question for Haley. I've worked with Boss and you, also Boss, for a whopping 2 months. 2 months. And I think I've got you dialed in. I have a question. I want to know, in all of these 10 years, what is the best thing that you guys have celebrated together? Like the one when you thought, oh, great, yep, this is going to work. And a time when you thought exactly the opposite. We're done. I just can't.
Ooh. So in business? Are you talking about in business?
In business. In this business with this. Can you remember one time when you thought, oh, this is great? Like when you got your very first pair of sunglasses that you thought, yep, this is going to work. Or even recently in the last, I don't know, couple of years where you thought, okay.
I think the best is when you go out there. The best is when you go out there to events like you just witnessed at the NFR.
Right.
And you just see the customers, and the customers come up and they're like, hey, we love your product. Like nothing is better than that, because all the stress and all the stuff that we just talked about, the hard times, that makes it like so gratifying. Like, hey, you know what? People do love this product.
And they do.
We've worked
they love you. They love you.
Hard. That
and
Jason's worked so hard to get the product to where it is now.
Stress?
No stress. Never. Only like once a week.
And that's another thing is sometimes, I just read a book by Charles Schwartzman. I think it's What It Takes. But he talks a little bit about it. A lot of times they don't talk about stress. The books don't. It's almost like it's taboo. They don't want to bring up, I think it's healthy that people know that stress is normal. And it's certainly as it pertains to business, it's just a huge part of it. My father died when he was 62. He had 110 LLCs.
It's insane.
He was rags to riches, grew up riding bulls and bareback horses because he couldn't afford a horse, but he could afford the equipment for rough stock. Worked for the Las Vegas County, was a street fighter. I mean, he had a scar on his back from when he got stabbed. I mean, he was legit, right? But he died because of stress. 100%. There's no, my father wasn't in the best shape, but he wasn't in the worst shape. I see people every day ruining their bodies. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke. He didn't abuse drugs or anything like that. 62 years old, he worked himself to death. And I truly believe that was stress. And so there is that aspect of it too. And I know it's becoming more talked about. And I don't think we should ignore that. There is that's a true thing. Learn how to manage that, especially in business. And some people do it a lot better than others. I know just in my family, my older brother is a very smart, intelligent. As a matter of fact, he's a genius. Great business guy, phenomenal business guy. We're just not, the way we were trained in business was good, but the way we were trained to handle stress, I think we fall short a lot like my father did in certain ways. But we're not what he was either. I mean, he was a stud. We're not there yet, But the stress has been crazy. I'll tell you what, it hasn't been hard on our relationship. I think in a lot of ways it's made it better, our relationship, because we have to stick together. It's kind of like when I was roping. I made the NFR with my brother Randon. We fought so much prior to roping together that when we started roping together, we didn't fight at all because it was kind of us against the world, right? We were the only two people we had to turn against, when we were struggling. So I feel like in our marriage, in a lot of ways, it's very unorthodox. It's unique in a lot of ways, but it has been a huge blessing to have the business.
And I will say, in my short experience with the two of you, you are a team. It's nice to see this, to be part of something, a company that you two built together and that you still are actively involved in every single day. And it makes me want to come to work. So I'm really glad that you guys stuck with it. You never said what your favorite thing, or when you first got your first prototype that you knew you'd be able to sell?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you. Because she said she loves to make the customers happy, and it's nice to see that the hard work pays off. What's your, like, do you remember when you're like, okay,
it's changed for me. It's changed for me. It used to be that. It used to be the product. Oh, I love the product. And I still love the product, but I was always fanatical about the extrusions, the details, the embellishments, the next thing, like the vending machine and all the things that we've done.
right?
Those are all products of just this grandiose vision of making things. It's hard on you to be like that all the time. So
Right.
I had to slowly separate myself from that because it was unhealthy. We didn't have the people from the other companies that we could hire to come and do that. So it was just very labor intensive, almost a real tactical approach to making sure everything was dialed in. But for me, it was the first year we did $1 million in sales. Was probably the one thing that I was like, hey, this can work. And one thing about Bex is we've never really sought out to get rich. And I think I think everybody wants to make money, but it's always been about putting food on the table for our kids. You talk about that. You've heard me talk about that a lot. And that's genuine. You'll see some of the sacrifices that I make or we make together so that we can still try and offer those things. And believe it or not, I know it could all end tomorrow. As an entrepreneur, we're a true meritocracy here, and nobody knows it more than I. We need to show up today, and we need to compete and produce. And so just to be able to when we hit that first $1 million in sales, to say, hey, this is kind of cool. We might be able to make a living doing this. And you hit on it yourself. You see it, my son comes in here. He goes to school on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He's only 3.
Monster.
Monster.
That's right.
And he terrorized everything. And you'll have people come in here. And to our staff, I've been very vocal about saying, hey, if you don't like it, if this is too informal for you, then leave. You don't have to be here. But part of the sacrifices that we make, and we do, I try not to talk about them because as an employer, you assume those responsibilities. You know that you can't make excuses. You know that certain things are going to be the way they are. So now that it's like an unwritten rule, that just is what it is. But because you have kind of dressed yourself in the yoke of that responsibility, I feel like you do what you want. Do what you want. And that's kind of, that's why you have a business. That's why you are your own boss. And then on the employee side of that, right, it's the same thing. You kind of know that, hey, I've decided not to start my own business. I am part of a team. I need to proceed as such. And there's a role that has to be, anyways. So that's for me. That's what it is. Before we get too deep into it, we're going to talk about our T-bone topic of the day.
What's that, boss?
Where I need to learn how to roll.
What is that? I can't hear it. I don't have headphones.
It just went. Anyways, the T-bone topic of the day is actually submitted by you guys, our fans, and it's where we talk about the juiciest stuff. And you send in your topics, and for whoever's topic we end up using, they receive 2 T-bone steaks from omahasteaks.com.
Shout out Nebraska. I'm a Nebraska girl.
That explains a lot.
No, it does. Nebraska's a wonderful state.
No, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying I've known some women from Nebraska, and you
formidable. Yeah, that's right.
A lot of dancers from Nebraska.
A lot of dancers, yes. I didn't pan out, but I'll try again maybe someday. If I get fired, if today's my day.
Could be.
Today's not your day.
Today's not my day. All right, VP said so.
Never say never, Haley.
Hey.
Could be your day.
We're not done yet, I guess. So what's that topic?
So you just brought something up. You said today. Is that what it seems like I am? Am I pretty shrewd that way?
What, for hirings and firings?
Yes.
Well, since I've been here, yes, sir. Yes,
not
sir.
because you want to be, but just like we said, the business has to run.
Well, and what I think and what I respect and what I've really come to enjoy about working here is, as scary as it is, it's also very fun. But you are decisive, same as me. I think we're very similar. You make a decision. People have a choice. It doesn't take that choice away from me. When you make a decision, I have a choice. I can stay and deal and work and be a doer, which is our new word. We're doers. Or I can not work here and not be part of your team.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't take away my choice.
There's a book
I
called
still have one.
Be Amazing or Go Home. And you've heard me say this, is my part to play is every 2 weeks I'll provide
my paycheck. Thank you, sir.
And as long as you're trained and you know what to do, your part of that is to produce. And so in the book, it says be amazing or go home. Mine's more like do your job or get the
bleep out.
That's right.
Do we have a bleeper?
I wish.
We'll get one. We're gonna get higher tech.
But you've heard me say that. And so the viewers could be like, oh, this guy's a total jerk. But it's not that. It's ultimately as the president of the company, I have a job to do.
Well, and you said the word was shrewd, and I think that you have the ability to sit down and look at the hard numbers and make the hard choices, and that's what you have to do. That's why you're still around that's why you're the 1% of the 1%.
The fact our competition and the nature of the luxury business that we're in, and you've heard me say this, is that we have to be borderline perfect or this won't work. The competition is too good. Their product is too good. Their historicals and their culture is too good.
So yours is better.
And so ours is just different. We have to be more unique in our approach. So you brought up doers.
We're doers.
So the T-bone topic of the day is sent in to us from Walkabout Platforms. So Walkabout Platforms, if you're watching or listening, you will be the recipient of 2 T-bones.
Awesome.
From Omaha Steaks. They want to know what it takes to set up and run a successful business in today's social marketing.
Ooh, you've been doing a lot of different social marketing, hence what we're doing right now.
So, believe it or not, I dislike social marketing. I do.
I don't believe it, but
no, it's true.
This is the story he always paints. But.
No, it's true. I don't like it. First of all, looking at my phone and social media gives me a headache. I'm alternating Tylenol and Motrin. And
I always do.
And then second of all, with that being said, Haley's right. I do say that. I don't like it. But as the president of this company, I don't discount its effectiveness. And there's a very big difference in that. You don't have to like something to know that it's effective or to know that it's important.
Or to use it.
It's like a job. It's like a job.
Yep.
You don't have to like a job, but a job's important. You gotta feed your family. You gotta pay the bills. So, but I do. Here's what I've learned. I think that, and I think you see this with our current president of the United States, actually, the greatest of all time, Donald J. Trump.
Trump is amazing. He's a good friend of ours. He recorded our voice message.
Yeah.
Call us up. Listen.
So that's the thing, is that a lot of people want authenticity. They want real. They're sick and tired of being just ran through the weeds, right? They want the truth. They want the hard truth. It's like that movie where they say, tell me the truth. And like, no, tell me the truth. And then finally they say, you can't handle the truth, right? But I think that people are ready for it. That's the one thing about social media, is it allows you the opportunity, puts you on a platform to give that to people. And it's not free, because it does take time. Time is money. But on the surface, it is free.
Right.
If you just wanted a social media outlet or whatever it is. It is crazy, though. I mean, I've read several books on social media marketing or the social aspect of today, and it's just, there's so much information out there that I think a lot of times you get stuck looking in the wrong places. I think less is more. Finding a way to get it out there. But the way that you approach marketing has to change. You have to think digitally. I've been trying to learn to code because Allison is an amazing coder, and we're doing a lot of things with code here. And I had a dream the other night where I was dreaming in code, trying to teach the kids the code and everything else like that. And I think that's what I mean. You have to start to think marketing in that digital aspect. and it is very hard.
Well, and people don't shop the way they used to. They just don't. They don't. What is the first thing that you do? You ask Google if you don't know. And if you're looking for something specific, if I see, oh, you've got a pair of Bex glasses, the first place that people go is online. Whether it's directly to a website or whether it's to Amazon or whatever it is, that's the direction the world's going. And I love the direction that I get to take, kind of going that way, being your new teammate.
Sales manager.
That's what it turned into.
Meat hooker.
/ meat hooker and ass meat manager.
You're the company meat hooker.
I am.
We need to get you a name tag that says that.
Meat and cheese hooker.
Meat and cheese hooker.
Meat and cheese hooker, ass meat manager.
I'm on it.
Haley's
That's
got
what
it.
she
Haley's
said.
got it.
No.
Sorry, no. I know you don't like it, but I like it when he goes there.
No.
She just put her foot on my butt.
So we just got back, right, from WISA. Mm-hmm. And I got to know Boss a lot more.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
was
just
very
gonna
scared.
apologize
Can
for
I
that.
tell you how scared I was?
That's a side I don't like people to see.
What, your nice one? Your charming side?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we're banking on it, Boss. So I'm hoping a lot of people like your charming side.
If not, you can suck it.
No, if you read those Instagram messages all the time, they're like, this guy's such a jerk.
But he's
and
not.
I get on there and I'm like, he's not. It comes off this way. It's just.
I will say I was
it's
scared,
just the
though.
video. I mean, it's just snippets of a whole moment. You know, you just get that snippet, and people all the time are like, "This guy's a jerk," and I have to go on there and I'm like, "Hey, by the way, he's pretty great. He's my husband."
Well, and you told me we were driving. I went home. I didn't sleep that night. I thought, oh my gosh.
What?
He is going to hate me. I can't be in a truck with Jason for that, because it was before we had our kind of come to Jesus moment. And I didn't know you're hard to read. And I told that to you before.
Was that after you were disparaging me behind my
I was
back?
not disparaging you
After
behind your back.
Stop.
Wait.
Stop.
After no.
I call bullshizzy.
After knowing me for what? 33 hours and 12 minutes?
No, that was just last month.
But it
was about a month.
You quickly learned I was the real deal.
Well, and I think you've learned I am as well.
Well, let's not make this about you. I think you expected me to blow up. I think you expected when I found out I was gonna freak
And you
out.
did.
No, I didn't. I handled it. I said I'm not mad at you for talking. You can call me a no good son of a gun, right?
What did I say, though? I said, you can't tell me who I can talk to after hour. I'm off the clock. I said, I'm doing this. I got this.
Let's agree
I
to
was talking to
disagree,
this.
and,
No,
Anyway.
no. This is a great place to stop for a second, take a breath. I don't know how it went, but all I remember is I walked away saying, Jason, you handled that like a champion.
Oh,
That's what
well,
you always-
that night,
that's
after
what
that
you
night.
always-
Yes, you did. After we had our little minute
You
in
thought
here.
you were going to be able to run all over the top of me like you did the meat and cheese hooking department.
I typically tend to be a railroader, yes. But no, that's not what I was. I just didn't know what I needed to be. And now that I know what you need me to be and what you want me to be, I can totally be that for you. I'm a soldier.
Yeah,
right in the
you are-
middle of
you
it.
are-
I am,
no.
and I just didn't know what you want, where you wanted me to sit.
But you'll sit where I tell you to sit.
That's right, and that's what I've learned. Yes, sir.
I'm teasing.
That's right.
I kind of am, but I'm not. I am. Mostly I am. I'm teasing.
And I know that now.
But you are a soldier. Air Force, is that
Air
right?
Force, yes, Air Force.
What regiment?
We don't do that. I have an AFSC. I was logistics. That was my AFSC. That's what you're talking about.
Did you put that on your dance resume? Like,
Oh.
No, and I think that may have been why I lost my job.
like, hey,
honestly,
while I'm
dude. Because
waiting-
seriously, look at me.
well, I'm waiting.
You look great.
Yeah,
Stop that.
you do look great.
I'm totally kidding.
Real quick though, did they be like, hey, while you're waiting to be called up, in the back, could you just arrange some boxes and organize them? Since you have a background in logistics.
They didn't. Must have left it off my resume. I'm telling you, it wasn't on my resume. I didn't even need one for this job. You just saw me because I'm that good. I'm that
They
good.
call you. They're like, this is Danica. And all of a sudden she goes, no, tell Kellyanne to go on. I'm in the middle of something. I'll switch
I'm
you.
stacking boxes. Dang
I'm
it.
stacking boxes. I'm building a clubhouse.
No. No, but I was really worried initially. But now I've kind of got my footing. I think everybody's fallen where you want them to fall, and we're all kind of. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for this new direction.
I'm glad
be part
you
of
are, because I'm.
Yes, you are, boss.
Here.
You're excited.
I'm a veteran at this point.
I'm a veteran.
Why do you keep sticking your foot in my crap?
I
Because
don't.
you need to go.
Oh yeah.
So you got to go pick the kids up.
I'm
from
a
school.
veteran.
Hey, so listen.
I'm a veteran.
Yeah, you're a veteran. I'm a veteran in the business game.
Yes,
At least as it pertains to sunglasses.
Yes, sir.
So this is a 21-minute podcast of useful information. We've gone a little bit over that today.
That's all right. They like us.
We'll see. Only time will tell. Again, we hope you like us. We're actually, we like you. Well, hold on. We love you. We don't know if we like you yet. If you don't drink milk because you just don't want to or you don't think it's cool, then we probably don't like you. But if you don't drink milk because you have a health condition, that's cool. We love you. You get a pass on that. I think that's about it. Next week's topic is genius. Is
You're gonna meet Weston.
IQ. Yeah, we're gonna meet my brother Wes. He's a super
Weston, right?
Yeah,
Weston.
Weston. Yeah. Weston. Some really interesting facts about Weston. We'll talk a little bit about this, but he is a genius, a great business guy. He'll have some awesome tokens or some advice. Advice is free. It's worth every penny, so you don't have to take it if you don't want it. But the one thing about some fun facts about Weston. First off, when Weston was 11 years old, he gave a book report on quicksand. We have that VHS video. Maybe we should show it. Didn't work out. And then the second thing is he is a genius. And if you don't believe him, he was on the varsity quiz team in high school. So, I mean.
Super cool. Not a nerd at all.
None.
Nope.
So, yeah, we're going to have Wes on next time. He's cool. His nickname's actually Welvis. And I know you like to sing. He actually played in a band, Exit 93.
I had a band one time.
You did? Mm-hmm. No, we're talking about like musical band, not just a band of dudes.
This is a band in Portugal. They called it Danika's Dream.
Nice.
We had 3 gigs. It was amazing.
That sounds
great.
like an adult video.
I got paid, man.
Hey,
We got paid.
Again,
We were working band.
totally sounds like an adult video now. Everything you just said, Danika's Dream, we got paid. Anyways, hey, thanks for joining us today, guys. We love you. The T-bone topic was amazing. Hope that helped you a little bit. If not, tune in next time. We'll be sure to throw some useful information your way. And, have a great week. Danika, thanks for your pearls of wisdom.
I've got a million of them.
And Haley, thanks for that booty.
I don't know
And joining us today.
about that.
Next week's topic.
No, this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching.
Or listening, however.
Or listening. And
Yeah.
you can visit us at becksunglasses.com. The podcast is Behind the Shades.
And we've created a code for those of you who watch for 15% off your entire order on becksunglasses.com. Web 15. Enter it.
Yeah.
Get some.
And that's not why
Good
we're
product.
doing this. And I get in trouble for this every time I say it, but that's not why we're doing this. But we would love for you to wear a product. But if you choose not to, it's totally cool. And then our airing time is Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be hitting you every week with some useful information. And one last thing, Haley, what's it like to be married to me?
Yes,
Great.
do tell.
It's great.
Great?
It's great.
For all
I said it.
for all,
Every day's
for all the
different,
21-year-old women
crazy.
out there that
It's
would
great.
are just dying to know. 22?
Maybe a little bit older.
That hurts. I always told her if she was going to leave me to do it before I was 32 and let myself go. Now,
Too late, man.
If she leaves now, I'll just be pissed.
Too late, man.
I
Your
need,
house.
happen.
I need a
Ship
good
sailed.
14 and a half months to get back in shape to hit the streets.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Over and out.
Hey,